Welcome. Now, today we want to look at Bukusu traditional marriage and how it was conducted in the olden days. Underline the word olden days. Nowadays, things have changed, and we are going the Western countries' way of culture. So, I want us to look how it was conducted back then in the Bukusu culture. Bukusu people are found in the eastern part of Africa, and most of them are in Uganda and Kenya. And as we know, the Bukusu people in Kenya makes the largest percentage in the Luya tribe. Thus, I can say they are 34% of the total Luya community. Now, back then in the Luya community, in the Bukusu culture, whenever a girl could have reached like the age of adolescent, that is the age of 12 and above, the potential men could identify the lady, and then they could follow that lady whenever she could be going to fetch water, and then they could hide themselves and see if the lady could clean the barrel or the jerry can. If she did so, they could realize that this lady has a kind of hygiene. And if she did so, what happened? These men, they could go back. Remember, in Bukusu culture, marriage was a community affair. It was a community affair. So I felt like highlighting these things on this channel so that most of the people who are aspiring to or are dating Luya and mostly Bukusu ladies, or those ladies those men who want to marry from Bukusu community should know this. And for some of us like me who never knew about the Bukusu culture deeply, I think this is the best opportunity for us to know how this was done in the olden days. Now, they have identified the lady. They have told the aunt that, auntie, we have seen a lady somewhere and we think we have the interest in that lady. Now, the aunt could go to the home of the girl with a djembe. Remember, a djembe showed a sign of that we are ready to do some farming, and this farming is like production, and production is like bringing up or making growing up a certain starting a family. Now, so a djembe was a sign of we are lacking land. And they could go with that djembe to that lady's family. Then that family could realize that this lady or this aunt has come here because she has seen a potential girl here. Now, after now the djembe was brought, and they have come to an agreement. Remember, now there were two ways of fetching this girl. There were two ways of getting this girl. You could either go with a djembe and talk to that family, or you could wait this lady as she goes to fetch water, and then you could they could just go with that lady. They could carry, energetic men could carry that lady and go with that lady, and thus making that lady the wife. But now, today we want to look on the rightful way, the way of going to this lady, and then with the djembe. The aunt now has reached there with the djembe. They have realized that the aunt has come to ask for a hand in marriage of maybe that lady. What happened next? What happened next in the community? Remember, in that community, ladies were praised according to their calves, and their calves, they call them in Bukusu language ndumbu, if I'm not wrong. Ndumbu. Okay? Then after that, the two families could come to an agreement. They could talk, they could negotiate, and the bride side now could start some arrangements. These arrangements were very expensive, as you know, in the current world or in the present days, whereby you have to wed and all those things that you should do for you to wed. Back then in the Bukusu community, a girl was supposed to or the girl side was supposed to slaughter an animal. And an animal in the Luya community or in the Bukusu community, an animal was a cattle. A cattle was slaughtered, and the carcass now, this meat was very well prepared neatly, and then it was packed in the leaves, and these are banana leaves. And then the following day, this carcass could be taken to the boy's side, and then it could be prepared for the meal. Now, before this preparation now started, I think I've rushed you people. Before this happened, there was a lady who could strip that morning. She could strip the lady naked in a private place, and this lady could be given, could be dressed with new clothes, starting from the inner cloth. Even shoes were new, and everything was new. And this process involved the lady who could do that was supposed to be a lady who has also undergone the same rite. It was not just anybody. It was a lady who has undergone the same rite. Then, after now preparation, the meat is prepared. They have wrapped it in leaves. They could carry it to the boy side, and it could be cooked there for people to eat. Now, there was a certain thing that this lady was supposed to make, and this thing was like the present day what we call a ring. By then, there was some ornaments that the lady was supposed to make, and these ornaments could act as the present ring that we are using. These ornaments were they were I can say some of them had some skin cow, the skin cow, the skin of a cow, what I mean. And then the lady could go with it as a way of fitting it to the boy, the man that was supposed to be the husband. Now, this has happened, and the process has gone very well. The lady is now has been taken now to the boy's side. The meat that was brought, this bride or the bride could choose one of his sisters or cousin to cook for them. Remember, this lady was not supposed to talk anything until the time when she will be told to eat together with the husband. That is when they could eat together with the husband and talk and discuss about the future and blah 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 blah, all those. Then from there, the lady who stripped her naked and dressed her with new clothes was supposed now to have this ornament that was to act as a ring. Remember that night, the very night now that the girl has been given to this man, no action was supposed to be done at all. You could just sleep like brother and sister. Then early in the morning, the lady who stripped the bride naked could come and remove the ornament that the bride had tied to the bridegroom, because this thing was not supposed to be taken by anybody. It was supposed to be taken by this woman, and this woman could go with that thing and bury it for where somebody could not get it and leave it to rot there. Now from there, this marriage meant that people, or these two people, are supposed to live until death do them apart. Now, then we have another way of how people got married. Remember, in the Bukusu community, polygamy was allowed. Polygamy was allowed in this community, and there were several ways of getting the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth wife. And suppose now the boy who has married had died. What could happen to the lady who was left behind? Then, if the boy had died and the girl had remained, remember, the father-in-law here in this community could take that lady as a wife, and there was a process of doing so. Stay tuned. The process was known as hukona mwihoko, something like that. Hukona mwihoko, something like that. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but that is the word. And this process, if the boy has now died, the man or the father-in-law was supposed to produce a cow. And then this cow, the wazes could be called, as in the elders could be called, and then the cow could be slaughtered. And this man was supposed to lie or to sleep between the carcass. You know very well, when the cow has been separated, the inner parts have been removed, the man was supposed to sleep in between there. Then after that, this meat was now cleaned very well, and it could be burned very, very nicely or roasted very well, and then people could eat. And you were not supposed to carry this meat. People were not supposed to carry this meat. They could just eat that meat from that place. Now, let's ask ourselves, does it happen nowadays? That was one way of getting the next wife, or introducing another way of polygamy. And suppose the father now could have died, and he had many wives. In this community. They took it as the firstborn son could marry the younger wife of his father. And that's why a boy in the Bukusu community was regarded as the best of the best. If any lady could get a boy as a firstborn, she was highly respected, because they termed this boy as the sisal. Sisals were used as marking the boundary. So another way of getting married for now this lady whose husband had died was through the in-laws. The in-laws could still remarry her. And the day when the husband is dead, this is when the lawyer men who have been admiring this lady for a long time were now smiling. How was the process? The process was done in this way. The very day of the death of the man, some of the men could come. They could go with cows and how do we call the ox cart. They could go with the ox cart to fetch water. Some of them could prepare firewood. This was one way of showing the lady that they are interested, and the lady was even informed that you choose the best who will please you among these. This is how the Bukusu marriage used to be. Stay tuned. We will be moving from one community to another to see how the marriages were, and we will be going even beyond the nation.